Hi, boys and girls. We read this story, Big Al. Big Al certainly was a very sweet and kind fish, wasn't he? All he wanted to do was make friends, but they judged him based on the way that he looked. Not very kind, that's for sure. So what I would like you to do today is to pull out this packet, and you can pause the video if you don't have it handy right this second. On the front it says, describe Big Al, inside, outside. What are some words that you would use to describe Big Al on the inside and outside? Go ahead and take a minute to write those words down. If you need a little refresher, you could go back, I'm holding the book upside down, and watch the video again where I've read to you from Big Al. You can think about the pictures of Big Al here, swimming in the ocean. Here he is. So what are some words that you might use to describe Al? I know what I'm going to fill in on my paper here. And we all will probably have some different words. And these are some things that you can share in your class or with someone at home as you're writing them. Here are just a few words that I put down. Words to describe Al on the inside. Kind, nice, friendly, sweet. But on the outside, he may have looked scary or ugly, brown, big, rough. When I go back and I look at this story, one of the first things I did when I looked at the first page, it said, in the wide blue sea, there was a very friendly fish named Big Al. You could not find a nicer fish. So I think friendly and nice are two words that we definitely want to use. Now, we also watched a video on eels, and that was kind of interesting. I learned a lot of facts about them. How is Big Al similar to eels? Does anybody know what similar means? Similar means the same. So how would Big Al and an eel be the same? I want to restate the question. They are similar because they both. How would you end that? How is Big Al similar to eels? I restated the question. They are similar because they both. How would you end that with a period? And again, you can always pause the video. And I just filled in our ugly. And I should put our ugly on the outside. We know that Big Al was nice on the inside. On the bottom, it says, in the beginning, Big Al feels, and I know this because. How did Big Al feel in the beginning of the story? If we go back and I take a look, we know that he was friendly. We know that the author says he was very, very, very scary. Other fish seemed to have one friend, but Big Al didn't have any friends. So how might you fill in that sentence? Go ahead and tell, how do you think he feels? A word that would describe Big Al's feelings. And why did he feel that way? I know I would feel the same way if I was Big Al. And I was nice and I was friendly, but people were scared because of the way I looked and they didn't want to be my friend. So I picked the word lonely. Did you pick something else? I put in the beginning, Big Al feels lonely. I know this because he didn't have any friends. And I took that right from the passage where the author told us that all the other fish had friends, but not Big Al. If you have something different, use this time to talk about it in your class with your classmates or someone at home. On the back, it says problem and the solutions to the different problems. What was Big Al's problem? I think we kind of said that on the first page. He was a very friendly fish. He was kind, but he didn't have any friends. What did Big Al do to try to solve his problem? You can pause the video if you need to, but I will hold up the book to try to give you some reminders. But poor Big Al crying his big salty tears into the ocean. He tried to wrap himself up in seaweed. And that didn't work because it really didn't disguise him very well. He tried to puff himself up because he wanted to make the other fish laugh at him. Maybe he thought if he was funny, they would want to be friends with him. He flopped down and he wiggled himself into the sand. Remember that part? And he was all covered up and he was joking and making them laugh and everybody was friendly until he sneezed. One day he changed his color. He thought maybe by changing what he looked like in color, it might help them to be his friend. But then he just kind of crashed into the other fish. Okay? So what are those reasons that you could fill in here from what I just reviewed? The problem I'm going to put is that Big Al didn't have any friends. And some of the solutions, he tried to joke. He tried to change his color. He tried to disguise himself with seaweed. I like that word, disguise. He tried to make them laugh when he buried himself in the sand. Now, it also tells me on this paper I could draw or explain. So if you would rather draw a picture, and you can go back and rewatch me reading the story or what I just showed you, you could do that as well. So you can pause your video if you want to copy down what I have. You may have rephrased your answers a different way, or you could draw a picture in any of these spots. And we're going to come back tomorrow to finish the rest of our packet.